All are called, but few choose to listen. This is another golden moment in A Course in Miracles. Reading from this book, Simply A Course in Miracles by Alani, which is my pen name. It's on Amazon, but this is also in the Course. This is the version I have been using, the third edition put out by the Foundation for Inner Peace. There are other versions that are out there. I prefer this one. This is the one that Helen, Bill, and Ken originally, and also Judith Scutch originally put out in 1976. But anyway, all are called, but few choose to listen. Let's read the passage. Jesus says, this is early on in the Course, he says, many are called, but few are chosen, should be. All are called, but few choose to listen. Therefore, they do not choose right. The quote, chosen ones, unquote, are merely those who choose right sooner. Right minds can do this now, and then will find rest unto their souls. So this is a passage from, I believe it's from Matthew. Many are called, but few are chosen. That's what Jesus says in Matthew. And I will put in the description, I'll put the full passage of both this and the passage in Matthew. And I believe it's only in Matthew. Many are called, but few are chosen. Now, why does Jesus correct that? Then he says, it should be, all are called, but few choose to listen. Therefore, they did not choose right. The chosen ones are merely those who choose right sooner. Why is Jesus saying what he's saying? Why is he correcting something that was said in the Gospels? And this is something that Jesus does throughout the Course, is he makes corrections on passages found in the Gospels. And he uses the King James Version, the King James translation. Why does he use the King James translation? Well, apparently that was the translation that Helen knew the best. She almost exclusively read the King James Version, and that is what Jesus used as the translation when he quotes in his Course, in Jesus' Course, when he quotes from the Bible, particularly the Gospels, he quotes the King James. So why does he correct this? Many are called, but few are chosen. Now, he's correcting it because this line sounds elitist. It sounds exclusive. It sounds like there's something outside of those who are chosen, who is choosing them, right? That there is some external force that is choosing some versus others. And some are chosen separate from others, right? There are a select few, in other words. There are an elect or a select few. And Jesus, throughout the Course, actually, he's trying to correct this. There's a number of things that are problematic about what Jesus says in the Gospels. If you just take that quote, it seems elitist, it seems exclusive, it seems to separate the sheep from the goats, that there are some who are good ones and some who are bad. There are some who are good eggs and some who are bad eggs, right? And who decides that? Well, God decides that. Now, and then he says, all are called, but few choose to listen. It means everyone is equally a son of God. Everyone is equally a child of God. And the onus really is on each person. It's not that God is selecting one person versus another one. It's rather each person is up to them whether they want to listen to the truth and they want to go towards the truth or not. And that's what makes someone chosen, is whether they are choosing to be chosen. There's a great little poem. It goes something like, "How odd of God to choose." It's a very short poem. "How odd of God to choose the Jews." And then the next part is, "Not so odd, the Jews chose God or choose God." And that's kind of what Jesus is saying here, is that it's not that the Jewish people are the chosen ones, but rather they are the ones that have chosen, right? They have chosen God. That's why they are the chosen. You see, I hope you see the difference. This is, in other words, this is not exclusive. This is really saying the truth is out there, right? Whether you want to go towards the truth or not, that is up to you. But then we could ask, it's a very important question, why do some choose to go there and some not? You know, what is the reason for that? And I don't know if we can, if there is a good answer or a satisfying answer. For example, why are you doing A Course in Miracles? Why am I doing A Course in Miracles? Why have we made this a practice and something important to us, and others do not? Others maybe are not interested in spirituality so much, and they don't engage with these things so much. We can't really answer that question, and that kind of gets into sketchy territory, in the sense that then we get into judgments of ourselves versus others. But I think that the thing to keep in mind is that the Course is not elitist. It's not saying that some people are not chosen, some people are chosen, and some people are not chosen. It's rather that we are all chosen. We all will choose. Time is an illusion, and everyone will choose. Right? Everyone will go back to God. Why does some of us choose at any given time versus others? That's not something we need to dwell on too much. That's what Jesus calls controversy. We do not need to get into that kind of theological controversy or theological speculation or philosophical speculation. And I read just yesterday, that passage in the Clarification of Terms about, this is not a course in philosophical speculation. This is not a course in theological speculation or theological debate. This is a course in clarification, not controversy. So, all are called, but few choose to listen. Therefore, they do not choose right. The chosen ones are merely those who choose right sooner. Right? So this is just Jesus' way of saying everyone is going to choose the right way eventually. Right? Some decide, okay, I want to go home now. They don't want to wait. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's me. Right? We don't want to wait. We're like, I want to choose the right way now. I want to go. I want the truth now. Right? No matter what it takes, I want to know the truth. But everyone is going to get there, right? And that's where, if you judge others for not being where you are, you're making a mistake. The chosen ones are merely those who choose right sooner. Right minds can do this now, and they will find rest unto their souls. So that means we can do this now. We can choose love. We can choose God. Now, we don't have to wait, but remember not to judge, right? Not to say we are the sheep and those are the goats, or we are the wheat and that is the chaff, or we're the the good guys, those are the bad guys, or we are the angels, those are the demons, right? Don't do that. Jesus is saying everyone's going home, right? If you want to go home now, great, but it doesn't matter when, right? Don't get on your high horse, or don't get holier than thou, because everyone is chosen. everyone will choose. Let's put it that way. Everyone will choose God in the end. And therefore, when any of us choose God, this does not really matter, right? But at least you will make the choice now, and then you will ultimately realize it doesn't matter. But until you get to that point, you need this idea, to keep this idea in mind. And it's really all about not judging, right? Not getting into the judgment. So I hope this was helpful a little bit. All are called, but few choose to listen. And I will, like I said, I'll put the passages, the relevant passages in the description. Thanks so much for tuning in, and yeah, shine on. Be well.